and welcome to my everyday. Today I thought I would share with you guys how it is that I go about doing my hair, from washing it, once it's done being washed, once I take it out of my towel, how it is that I straighten it and how it is that I style it. I get some questions every now and then about my hair. It is something that we talk about a little bit on my channel. I have mentioned in the past that I have very frizzy, relatively wavy to curly hair. So I thought you guys maybe might want to follow along how it is that I go about doing my hair. And if you want to see it, just stay tuned. Okay, so we're now in one of my bathrooms. This is basically how I start out if I'm going to be doing my hair after I've washed it. So I've had it in this microfiber turban thing for a little while. This is what it looks like when I take it out. So I've had it in the turban now probably for about half an hour to maybe even an hour, because I have been doing some cleaning and I have been running around and actually did a little DIY. So this is what it looks like. So at this point it's starting to get a little bit drier, which I do like because it does take a long time for my hair to dry. I'm going to use this Avon Advanced Techniques 360 Nourish Moroccan Oil Leave-In Treatment. And if you've been around for a while, you've heard me say that my hair requires a lot of oil and a lot of moisture be put back in. It's just very, very frizzy. It does tend to be on the curly side. It's not a very nice curl. So I did about 6 pumps. I usually go back and do another 6. And just kind of put it through just to make it easier to brush through, comb through, just to bring some nourishment back in. I do use a lot of conditioner when I wash it. I use a very minimal amount of shampoo, a lot of conditioner, and I try not to rinse it out thoroughly so that it does feel very almost slippery, so that it's easier to comb through. Just gonna move you guys just a smidge here. That's a little better. Okay, so then I use a wide tooth comb. Over time, I've just learned that's the best way to comb through my hair. I lose a lot of hair as well. I have a lot of hair, so then I find that I get like big chunks. So I just comb through it, make sure that any loose hair that's in my hair comes out. I usually just collect it over here on the sink in front of me and then just comb through. At this point, I also, if I'm planning on straightening my hair, which is pretty often, at this point is usually when I actually would go ahead and turn on my straightener, even though I'm probably not going to use it for a while, but I like it to get nice and hot so that it's easier to straighten. So I just keep combing through. I have a lot of hair, and it's hard for people sometimes to imagine just how much or what it is actually like because they only ever see the finished product. So again, I just keep combing through to make sure that I have no knots and I have none of that. Again, I'm not wearing any makeup. I usually do my hair first. I don't want my wet or damp hair to get in the way of my makeup. Sometimes I'll do my makeup in between, like if I dry my hair, then I would go back, do makeup, and then maybe straighten it. But generally I wait until the end. Again, it depends on how much time I have. So just gonna look in the mirror here, make sure that I'm parted kind of how I like, and usually my hair decides where it wants to part. And yes, I do like to part my blonde streak, so there's a little bit on this side and a little bit on this side. It's just the way that I prefer to wear it. I'm always changing, so who knows what my hair will look like next time, but I'm really enjoying this right now. It's just fun for me. So there we go. So now it's all been combed through, and so I either would walk around my house and let it air dry, or I would pull out my hair dryer and dry it to get it ready to straighten. So at this time, I'm going to pull out my hair dryer and start to dry it. Okay, so I've had this hair dryer for a very long time. I probably am due for another one, but the only issue with it is the way it looks. So it is a Babyliss Pro Carrera exclusive, and I love it. It gets really, really hot. It also has a hot, cool, and warm attachment. I don't even know if you can see that. Can you see that? Let me see. And then it also has the high and low and off buttons. So I really like it. I'm not gonna bore you guys with watching me blow dry from beginning to end with all of the noise. So I will speed this up and I'll put some nice cheesy or something music in for you. So stay tuned and then you'll see what I do after I dry it. Not completely dry just yet, and as you can see, I have a lot of hair. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and that's why I straighten it. It does the same thing when I try and wear it curly, so that is why I straighten it. At this point, I would usually take half of it because the top is drier than the bottom, just because I have so much thick hair, and I would just plop this on top of my head and grab a clip and then work on drying the bottom. If you are a hairstylist and you think I am doing something wrong, I'm sorry. This is how I do my hair. This is what works for me. I have had my hair my whole life, and this just is what works for me. I've tried different ways, and again, it's what works. Okay, so at this point, what I do is I brush it back out again, and I know you must be thinking this is damaging my hair with the amount of brushing that I have to do, but if not, it would be really tangled, and that drives me crazy, which is another reason why I very rarely wear it curly, because I can't handle not being able to run my fingers through my hair. So a lot of times at this point, I would take a little break because it gets really, really hot. And I would walk around my house and kind of just let the humidity in my hair kind of die down. I would probably at this point, once again, put some kind of oil or serum. So I'm going to use the same one that I've already used and put 4 more pumps into my hand and concentrate mostly on the bottom. And then again, maybe walk around, maybe grab a drink, maybe grab a coffee, and just let it kind of cool off. And I know that I do have the cool setting on the hair dryer, so I could do it that way, but sometimes I just need to get out of here, especially today when the door is closed and it's really, really hot in here. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to keep going. So luckily my hair dryer or my hair straightener actually works really well if my hair is slightly damp, which it's not really. It's pretty much dry at this point. It's just a little bit humid, I guess. So the hair straightener that I have is the, well, it's a Chi, so I don't know which Chi, but I've had it for a long time. It's actually, I've been through more than one of them. I love it. It goes up to, I believe, like 450 degrees. So I like that it gets really, really hot. So again, what I do is I section off my hair so that I can start from the bottom. And those of you who do this are probably thinking, yep, that's what I do, or that's nothing new, but I do have people ask all the time how it is that I do my hair. Sometimes it takes longer than other times. It really depends on how my hair is doing. Sometimes I can do my hair in an hour. Sometimes I'm in here for 2 hours, just depending on how frizzy and how humid things are. I find that it is getting better since I've been using more oils in my hair. I also find that it has been getting better since I've been sectioning it off into smaller sections, and you'll see that once I get closer to the top, rather than just plopping the top down and doing it, I like to section off that last bit into quarters. I also find the worst to be way in the back and underneath, because it is where I have the most curl, probably because that is where my hair is the most protected. And again, I'll speed this up for you guys. Dampness again, so I'm just going to use my hair dryer again just to kind of dry any of this middle part, especially in the back. I'm also going to use the cool setting for a little bit just because it's really hot in here. Now I know it seems weird that I do it like this. I started doing this recently because I found that this section in particular on top never got straight. It always had that weird kinky wave in it, and it was because I would put the rest of the top of my hair down and start straightening it, and this would blend in the middle of all of my hair, and so I found that it was getting missed. So then I started sectioning it off like this at the end so that I could actually make sure that I got this section, so that when I'm walking around with straight hair in the front, I don't have all these kinky waves in the back that only others can see, or that I could see when I pulled out my mirror. And it was so frustrating when you think you're done straightening your hair and this piece in the back has a little wave to it. And these are the struggles of having lots of really thick, kind of curly, kind of wavy hair. I'm just gonna take my hair dryer again and I'm gonna set it with some cool air. And then I comb through it again, and then I go over very lightly with the hair straightener one more time just to make sure that any kinks or any spots that I might have missed have been covered, especially right here. I really like it to be pretty straight in the front. It's really hot in here and humid, which is probably why I'm having a hard time with this front piece that looks like it's wet. And then I would just grab another oil or frizz serum just to make sure that there's no frizz. And so I'm gonna use, it's in a different bottle. It's actually called Frizz Relief. It was in my August empties, and so I did about 4 pumps of that. And then I just put it through. And I know it seems like I'm putting a lot of oil in my hair, and I am, and it's just because it's not so much that it's dry, it's just that I have so much of it that it soaks it all up. So I need it. I need to have that just to give it some sort of weight, some sort of, basically not so it doesn't frizz. So I'm gonna just comb it through. And then at this point, after I'm done combing it through, that's when I would get my mirror. I have a handheld mirror in here. And I would just check the back of my hair just to make sure that I got it all and that it's pretty straight. If there's a little bit of wave to it, that doesn't really bother me. So I will show you guys what it looks like in the back. So I don't know if I'm showing you properly or if you can see it, but I'm pretty happy with the way that it turned out. If it's not bone straight, that's not a big deal. I just don't like big waves and curls, and especially when I'm trying to wear it straight. So that's how I wear my hair. This is usually the routine of when I wash it and how I straighten it. There are days, however, when I will wash it at night and I will go to bed with it damp and wake up in the morning, and it's actually easier for me to straighten. Sometimes I can skip that hair drying process and then I just start combing it out and straightening it. But for those of you who are curious, that was my hair straightening routine. So that's it. That's how I do my hair. Like I mentioned before, there are times where I will wash it at night, go to bed, wake up with it a little bit damp or relatively dry, but the straightening process is pretty much the same every time. And today's example was right after I washed it. I had put it in that hair turban, and so you got to see what it was like when I needed to dry it with the blow dryer and straighten it with my straightener. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up. I'd also love any comments you'd like to leave me down below, and if you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you, and I hope to see you again soon. Talk to you later. Bye.